Welcome, everyone, to the Tonya Hoffman's fabulous TV show. I am your host, Tonya Hoffman, and as always, I have an incredible, fabulous guest star today. Who is it? Ann Bennett. Oh my gosh. So, hey, Ann, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Tonya.
She is so adorable, and y'all are going to just adore her. And before we get going with Ann, I just want to remind you that we want you to go out there and change the world from the front of the room as well. So make sure that you go to Public Speakers with an S, Association, all spelled out, .com to find out how you too can become a member and get on my show and do all of the other fun things that we do there. Alrighty, so let's get into Miss Ann. So, Ann, so tell us about you and what do you have going on nowadays?
Oh, well, I've been doing the branding, messaging, building programs for a while. And so I love doing that. I have a new online program called Answer the Rebel Call, which is really about what makes you unique and how do you dig into your personal story and how does the personal story apply to the business, and really bringing more of who you are, like the you that, the quirkiness you and the smart you and the serious you, all those yous together into a brand. So it's super fun.
I love that. Because one of the things I find with speakers especially, and really pretty much everybody, is that they try to be someone else. Oh, I want to be like this person, instead of just really realizing that the person they need to be is actually already there.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I meet a lot of people, you probably do too, that are like, oh, well, I'm the Tony Robbins of the female set or whatever. And it's kind of like, you know what? Why don't you be the Robin Robbins of the, be yourself, right? Whatever your name is, be yourself of that set. It's interesting, right? How we look. I think it's because we look at trying to give people shortcuts, and branding does that a little bit. Give people a shortcut to what you're about. So you say, oh, I'm a cross between, Lauren Bacall and James Dean, right? That's my brand, or that's who I am. And so people have instant recognition. But ultimately, the power of a rebel brand is really being yourself. Being yourself, whatever part of you that is.
I remember that moment that, I was doing webinars and teleconferences, and I was going on shows, and I remember the day that it happened when I went from Tonya trying to be a speaker to Tonya, this is who I am, gonna love it or not. And that was when I stopped caring what the people who don't like me really think about me, and started focusing on the people who already adore me and will love me for who I am. And that's when people are like, oh my gosh, what did you do different? You were amazing today. And I was like, I was myself.
Right. I know people ask me all the time when I'm speaking, they're like, I can't wait to hear you speak. And I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to hear myself speak. Like, I have a plan or whatever, but it's not so etched in stone that there isn't a space to be myself or relate to people who are there. I think that we're over the era of wanting speakers or people that we're doing business with to be perfect, or to look like, oh, I have it all together, and it's kind of like, yeah, how about real? Yeah. How about like a real interaction, a real connection?
Yeah, I think it's all from, are you speaking from your head, right? You're going through your perfect presentation, or are you speaking from your heart and really connecting with people? And I think that's the difference between being a really awesome speaker and just being a really professional speaker.
I couldn't agree more. Like, just for myself, and I'm sure this occurs for you too. Okay, so I'll tell you the story. I was at this event, and it was really awesome legacy leaders event over the weekend. And one of the adults, one of the people participating, brought their child, and the child they were doing a fundraiser, which is really awesome, right? And so he asked his daughter to speak. And I swear he had her like trained like a donkey, like a jumping giraffe or whatever. She was like, blah, 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 blah. I mean, she had her thing totally down. And I was like, gosh, you just have to speak from your heart, and then people want to open their purses, right? And give you money. And instead she had this, even for a small kid, she had this front, and that's what I think people are missing in working with people, as well as speaking or in workshops or anything, is that vulnerability and that realness about something. That's what we're all craving, we really want.
And I think that really is the true thing, because what I hear from a lot of my clients is, Tonya, I don't know why I keep having people gravitate to me that we're actually not a good fit. They want my stuff and they buy it and they're excited, and then we get together and it's like, does it work? And I'm like, it's simple. You were being someone different on stage. You were someone different on the phone. You weren't being yourself. So they were gravitating to whoever you were pretending to be versus you actually.
Mm-hmm. Who you actually are. I think when we can really be who we are, people are either attracted to that or they're repelled, which is great, right? Okay. There's lots of people who don't want to be around me. It makes me laugh. And it's perfect, right? Because my clients want to be with me, your clients want to be with you, and it really levels that playing field of competition, because it becomes like, really, a better fit would be over with someone else, or, it's almost like you can feel them. I mean, do you feel that way? I feel like I can feel my clients, or I can walk into a room and I see these certain lights.
Oh, yeah.
People do surprise me sometimes, I have to admit. But most of the time I can see them. Well, sometimes they come over and when they get closer, there's some quirky, something creative or something underneath that they're not showing me. And I'm like, oh, that's why you're over here, right? Yeah.
Well, and that's what people think, they have to have my personality or your personality. And I'm like, no, you just have to have your own. One of my clients, he's I don't even know how he does it, but he has no personality. Literally, every time he's on my show, he has no facial expressions. He doesn't blink. He talks with a monotone voice. I'm like, how do you do that? So he was really concerned that he couldn't be a professional, public speaker, because he was this, kind of no personality guy. But guess what? He's perfect for the people who gravitate to that. So now he does this whole show on Star Trek and Star Wars and comic books, and it's like perfect.
Right, all the geeky stuff that he's like really related to, right?
Right.
That's one of the things I'm always quoting the French singer Edith Piaf, who said, take your faults. That's what's going to make you a star. Because we're somehow, and I don't know where we got this, that we want to look a certain way or be a certain way, and that's what's going to make us successful. Or that, for a lot of women, it's like, if I was perfect, if I had the perfect hair or the perfect outfit or the perfect glasses or whatever it is, then that would be the thing that's actually doing it. But it's really more of an energy signature, something that intrigues someone else to want to be with you.
Exactly. I know, because when you start really looking at, well, who does gravitate to you? At first I was kind of surprised. I'm like, why are all these analytical guys coming, And it's not just because I'm blonde, It was as they saw that I had an area, which is marketing, online internet access, how to draw people to you, attraction marketing. I've got all of that they can't do, right? And then they have this brilliance of that analytical, knowing 1 step, 2 step, 3 step that I am not good at.
Great stuff, right? Because we all love that that at least a container of the structure, right?
Yeah, they're like, Tonya, you can't start on step number 25. I'm like, but the other steps were so boring. Yeah.
Right. I wanted to run ahead and get to the good stuff.
Exactly. And I tell him, right, I'm like, well, you have to actually get to number 25. You're still stuck on number 2.
Get going. I know I was at this event and we were writing out questions. It was such a great exercise, writing questions and then swapping them with each other and then grading them. Like 1 to 5, what was the most interesting for the entire room, right? And it was Laura Gisborne's event. And she was like in front of the room and she goes, I'm sharing about something. And she's like, was your word velocity? And I was like, yeah, how did you know that? And I'm like, yeah, because I am very impatient. I'm like, how can we go fast? And let's get there and make it simple and fun. And, you know, that's my whole thing about it's not fun, let's not do it.
I know. I was just talking to a lady, literally, and she was like, no, you have to do it this way, Tonya. To get from A to Z, you've got to go through A and B and C and C point 1 and C point 2. And I'm like, no.
Right. Well, no, not really, but good for you. Yeah. There's lots of people who really want that. That's so awesome. You know, give them the step-by-step kind of the recipe of making it that way. I know you and I are very simpatica in that way. We're just more like break the rules and go do your thing and live from your heart and, you know, be real and get out there.
Because I used to not be, right? I used to be very closed in. You got to do everything very structured. You got to do everything really perfect. And, you know, I'm a recovering perfectionist. So everything had to be so difficult. And then when I realized, oh, KISS method, keep it simple. I'm the one being stupid, and I let it all go, and I shook it all off, and now everything is like boom, 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 right?
Yeah, you get in the flow, and things kind of happen.
Exactly. Yeah. So tell us. I know these people are going to want to get a hold of you and get a part of your world. Also, do you have a way for them to connect with you, a free offer or something that you're like, ooh, you need to go here?
Sure. I think, you know, gosh, I'm starting all these teaching Facebook Lives and a lot of stuff like that. So I'd love to have people come over to my Bennett Marketing is where I'm going to be teaching. They can go onto my website if they want, and there's a downloadable, you know, how to discover and start to uncover your rebel voice. It's a great little PDF. It's like 10 questions, takes about 5 minutes. And all of a sudden you click in, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, for a lot of us, I like to say, you can't really see your own eyebrows. And so it's a list of questions where you start to just simply write, what's my favorite cartoon character? What's my favorite actor and why, right? It's always about the and why part. And you start to see what your unique voice actually is. It's pretty cool. So they can go get that at AnnBennettMarketing.com.
Perfect. Ann Bennett, and that's no E on Ann. And Bennett's 2 N's, 2 T's, right?
Right. And if we want to make it simple for them, it's Renegade branding. You have to spell renegade though.
There you go.
I'm very dyslexic, so people are always like, what was that word?
Me too. People are like, well, how are you a speaker when you have a speech impediment and you got all these issues? I'm like, because, you know, I stopped caring.
Unstoppable, right? You just stop making that the reason, right? When you stop making something a reason to keep you from what you know you want to do or the people that you want to serve. I mean, I tell people all the time, listen, I'm really an introvert in an extroverted personality. So when I'm on the stage, I'm funny and I'm, you know, jumping around and doing all that stuff. And then when I say something to people like, yeah, I'm going to be quiet and focused, they're like, who took Anne, you know? Who like beamed her up somewhere?
Exactly. All righty, everyone. So please go get connected to Anne. Obviously, she's someone you need to know. And then I would love to help you with your online marketing as well. Connect with Anne to get your branding down. And then come and talk to me about Simply Attract. You go to simplyattract.com, gives you information about really the website you've been looking for, because it's all done in 2 to 3 days. It's like, done, push, let's go. So we'd love to talk to you more about that. All righty, everyone. We will see you next time. Bye, Ann. Bye, everybody.